Herd Hierarchy.
Time is now. Let's go.
The top 10 NFL teams according to Colin. Number 10.
When they're healthy on their offensive line, and they weren't this week but still won, Miami's a real football team. Okay, let me give you two numbers. Since week 6, third best running team in the league. That matters in December. And right now, opponents turn fewer third downs into first downs against Miami than any team in the league. Translation, not a lot of long drives. The defense is usually rested. If their offensive line goes into the playoffs healthy, they're going to win a playoff game. Miami, number 10.
Number 9.
Washington's the most underrated team in the league, not called Miami. Second in total offense, second in yards per play. They're a little bit, they've given Dallas 2 real games. Because of the division they're in, and Carson Wentz, and Dak, and Eli, nobody's paying attention to Washington. This team is capable of winning playoff games. They are incredibly productive on offense. Where they're not great is in the red zone. They too often settle for field goals. But they'll keep the football away from you for 2.5 hours.
Number 8.
Kansas City's won 18 of 21 games. And I'll tell you the Andy Reid effect. You know how many straight games they've won in their division? Now think about this division, right? Everybody thinks it's the best division in football. They've won 8 straight in division. If you don't think that's the Andy Reid effect, you're not paying attention. How do you win 8 straight in that division? They've done it. Kansas City 8.
Number 7.
I'm a doubter on Atlanta, but I will say this. Their pass defense is atrocious. So it's really going to be a struggle to close out games, because if they're leading, teams will throw and move the ball at will. But they're number 1 in yards per play, number 1 in scoring, number 1 in plays over 20 yards. They're like Arizona last year. Arizona ended up going a long way. They'll just outscore you, but their defense, I think, will be their undoing. Atlanta 7.
Number 6.
Not sexy, but Baltimore does some things really well. They do some things really, really well. Rush defense, number 1. 4-0 in division. Total defense, number 2. This team is a little like Kansas City. You're not in love with them. Not much of a fireworks show, but they're good in division. They're well coached. Terrific at home usually. And a quarterback that wins more games than you want to admit.
Number 5.
I can't sell my stock on the Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger's last 11 games in December, he's won 10. Here's the thing about Ben Roethlisberger. The great ones are better in crisis. He's been an unbelievable December quarterback. 34-14. And this team with Le'Veon Bell and Big Ben, the defense is getting better, is built to win late in the season.
Number 4.
I've been on the Raiders more than anybody else in the country that does this job. They've won 8 of 9. They win close. They've got a magician at quarterback. They have skill people. They have a tremendous offensive line. They're going to end up hosting playoff games, maybe all of them. And they're one of 3 teams, the Patriots and the Cowboys, that haven't lost on the road. You do get there's value in that. You respect Dallas, you respect New England. Raiders haven't lost on the road. It's hard to win on the road. They're unbeaten. Number 4.
Number 3.
Don't get too crazy about Seattle's performance. Okay, Russell Wilson's been hot and cold his entire career. He has stinkers. He has about 3 a year. They allow the fewest points in the league. You're not going to beat them at home. They have a tremendous head coach. And in the biggest games, not Tampa Bay, in the biggest games, Russell Wilson makes plays. Seattle, great roster, number 3.
Number 2.
Again, Brady Belichick late. They only allow 17 points a game. So for all their flaws defensively, that's 3rd in the league. Now, Gronk, I believe they're going to be bumpy for the next couple of weeks. They're not going to play Gronk, which means they're not as good in the red zone. But Sunday's a prime example. They can be outplayed for 45 minutes and win football games on the road. That's why they're number 2.
Number 1.
Right now, the most consistent team I see is Dallas. And they're doing it with banged-up corners, their best safety out, and they've had multiple injuries on the offensive line. Listen, go watch their first 2 drives of every game. It's a steamroller. They are the second-best running team in the league. Only team running the ball more than passing. So you have to say they're built for late-season football. And I've always thought Jason Garrett is better than the public prescribes he is. There is my herd hierarchy.
Did you forget a couple teams?
Nope.
Or did you make a mistake?
I didn't forget any teams.
8-3 Giants.
What do they do well?
Win.
That's not good enough. Tim Tebow won. Mark Sanchez won. The New York Giants, what do the New York Giants do really well? Odell Beckham's great. What do they do really well? They don't do anything really well.